we started talking about the SAMR model of integration of technology. And SAMR stands for, it's on the back of your sheet under the 321. Just as a reminder, or if you've never heard of it before, S is substitution, which means that the tech is a direct substitution for a paper and pencil task. So I always come down to word processing. If all they do is type words and hit print, that's substitution. A is augmentation. That's if they then use bold, italics, underline, they spell check, they use a thesaurus. You're augmenting with technology. M is modification, where you start changing the rules of the game because of technology. So that might be where you're using Google Docs or Microsoft Live Online, where kids are concurrently writing in the same document. And then the last level, which is really, can be very hard to get to, is redefinition, where without the technology you can never do it. So writing a Google Doc and recording a video of yourself explaining how to use Google Docs. Now you're redefining. So what I'm going to do next month is what we did last May. I'm going to ask you to bring a lesson. It could be your lesson. It could be a teacher you're trying to help. And you're going to work to brainstorm together on what level do I see this lesson and what would I take to kick it up a notch. But just to give us practice, I want us to focus on document cameras. And when I looked at the numbers from the surveys, the text survey, about half of the schools said yes, they have at least one document camera in the building. And another equal number said no, we don't have a document. And 12 people said they don't know or they didn't give the survey back yet. So a document camera, if you've never seen it before, is like an old, like a paint projector where you would put a paper underneath or an overhead transparency. But the difference is with a document camera, like you can see this picture, he's looking at an EKG coming out of a machine for college students. And so moving things could pass by. And so, you can see 3D things. Like I always think of it if I was teaching how to do something with origami, the document camera would be interesting. So my question is for you to brainstorm for just 2 minutes on your own. How do you think that you could use a lowly document camera just as substitution for something to augment it a little, to redefine it a bit, and to really just blow it out, and without the document camera, you could never do this before. So I'm going to set the timer for 2 minutes, and let you, on the back under the 3, 2, 1, think about document cameras. And by the way, if you have iPads and you don't have document cameras, you can turn on the video camera and plug the iPad into a projector. And I guess if you prop it up somehow, it could become a cheap document camera.
We have exactly that. We actually sell these. I can maybe bring it next time.
Oh, do please. That would be awesome.
They have these things in which it turns iPads into document cameras.
Oh my gosh.
So you just kind of, like I know, like you play those selfies next time.
Absolutely.
Like, it extends to just like that, and then you can tilt it up, tilt it down.
If you
but
think
the only
of it
downside is you have to have it connected.
Right. Or if you have Apple TV, you could mirror it to the screen. Right. Okay, so 2 minutes, I'm setting the timer. How can you use a document camera for substitution, augmentation, modification, redefinition? Right. Substitution. Who has thought about how a document camera could just be substitution for another technology, another thing? So what's substitution?
I said my teacher's notes that she wants the kids to copy, she could just stick them under the
So that's definite substitution. It's just like an overhead transparency, but maybe you printed it in Word, or maybe you hand wrote it, and you're handwriting as the kids are watching. So that's definite substitution. Oh, and this is just 51 schools have iPads, Androids, Galaxies, Nexuses. So even if you don't have a document camera, many schools have at least one. So, like you're saying, just plain old projecting. These photos, I borrowed them off of different school Facebook pages, okay? So this is an example where the teacher for Pope Francis's visit projected a crossword puzzle, and the kids just took turns coming up the circle. Okay. So now, as A, augmentation, how could we take that a step further than just projecting?
And then interact with whatever's up there. If it's a smart board, they can use the tools, maybe a notebook or use the marker to come up and answer questions or underline or circle.
So that's a definite augmentation. A lot of the smart cameras, the document cameras, actually come with software that let you annotate on top of things and then save them as pictures or videos. So in this example, I don't have a picture, but putting an object under a document camera to actually just display a 3D object is almost more augmentation, because what you're talking about is even stepping further. You're redefining what you could have done previously. So augmentation is just a little bit more. So with an overhead transparency, it was very hard to put a 3D object. It was hard to manipulate the 3D object. So like think about a kindergartner learning to tie a shoe. And you could put that 3D object and show it. And then going towards that modification level, that's where you're painting on top of things, saving things. Now how about another SAM, another modification, a way to use it with like a lot more of the tech bent?
I've used it once before where we actually analyze a turtle or an animal underneath it to get a closer look at the shell and everything. So.
And that's something you definitely are getting further with that. How about redefinition? I mean, the lowly document. How do we take it to where you never could have with this technology?
Our document cameras have that cube that comes with them.
I don't know about that. So
There's a cube that comes with, it's a smart document camera. So there's certain things in the gallery of smart notebook that when you're using the cube, like for instance, there's a plant cell or an animal cell, and if you pull it up and put the cube under the document camera, you could rotate it and the whole picture rotates. So you can see the bottom.
oh my gosh, wow.
You can see all the different aspects of the cell.
Okay. And so, you know, like we were talking about modifications, so students using annotation tools, and still zooming in you could do with an overhead transparency. But modeling communications with partners and editing at the same time, and getting to have them collaborating. And you can still do that with an overhead transparency, but if you're then using that video camera to take snapshots of the process, and then redefining it is taking those photographs, those snapshots, and then letting kids turn it into a video. And so now you take the snapshots, you record what they're talking about, and then they can post that video online, modeling good communication skills when you're working with a partner at any time. So next, bless you, next month when we're talking about the SAMR model, bring a lesson plan of your own or a partner teacher that you're trying to help them figure out how to enhance a lesson. You'll do some brainstorming. Where is it in the SAMR model? And how can you pick it up to the next level? And I had gotten this online. The link is going to be with our links. But they said another modification is students scanning QR codes for an interactive activity. We talked about QR codes last year, the like barcodes that are square. And also time-lapse photo of data collection at just the right angle, which ties into what you were talking about, Jenna, having an extra thing that rotates into the right angle. So, you know, the question is, would I rather have teachers use the document camera at all? Because probably some of you have a few, and the teachers A, don't know what it is or how to use it, or B, just figure it's something extra mind bothering, you know, I would rather them take it out and use it. But then, if they are, I'd love to see them trying to take it to that higher level, or really